rocking around the Christmas tree. It's a happy holiday. When you've only got one employee in your store instead of 6 to 12, like usual. Yeah, Nell, can you do that again? Are you happy? How do you feel being the only employee in the store working through Christmas? Isn't it great? Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All right. Let's share in some of our fun. We're here, right? Who here showing up wants to be a part of our fun? We got some fun today. So here we have a 2141 motherboard. This is a board that I've gone over in a video that I did a while ago on my channel. One of the things that this board is known for is always dying because it does this thing where it sends 20 or 18 or 12 volts. What is it? 12 volts to the SSD? It likes to send 12 volts to the SSD, and this is something that I covered on my channel a long time ago. Let's see if I got this. Here we go. They always die the same way. How most 16-inch MacBook Pros often kill themselves and why they're unfixable. So today we have a 2141. 99% of these that come in tend to be in one group. Behind door number 1, they have a dead SSD because the SSD got 12 volts. Behind door number 2, you knock off one cap and the board works again and it's a happy customer. Now, whether or not it tends to be a problem where you have a dead SSD because the TPS 62180 sends 12 volts to the SSD, or whether or not you're knocking off one cap, really tends to be a question of whether Nell or Paul picked up the board or I picked up the board. Now, that video you saw there, that's unusual. Probably Nell or Paul looked at that before me because I do not have the type of luck where that machine ever has a dead SSD, and we are going to be taking a look today and see what's going on with this. So this is a customer machine. They sent in an A2141 that is not turning on properly. It's not turning on at all, actually. Has no power, and we are going to see if we can figure out what's wrong with it and if it is the same issue that it usually is. So let's just turn on the microscope camera. This is not my normal microscope camera. This is kind of a piece of shit cam. I don't really like it. Also, as you notice, it has this freaking tall garbage over here that this is not the same as the microscope that I was trying to sell 3 years ago. I really wish I could find those again and also import them at a reasonable price. As I said in the tariffs video I did a few years ago, unfortunately I cannot. There are companies that can import that microscope without a tariff if they were selling them already, and then the new competitors to the market get to pay the 25% tariff, thereby ensuring that there is less competition and that people keep buying stuff from China. So, yay, great trade policy we've got there over the last few years. Anyway, that aside, rants aside, let's take a look through here, through the board, and see if we can see anything that looks kind of messed up or wrong. Now, do keep in mind at this store we do not believe in cherry picking. You must do the boards in the order they are received. If your name starts with A and ends with L.
When did you receive that board, Louis?
I believe let's see. This is actually one of the earlier tickets, my friend. Let's see. What do you know? This is the third ticket in my queue and you arrange an order. What do you know? That's all right. So we're going to look through this board. And what do we have over here? Ugh. That doesn't look very nice, now does it? Now does it? No priority bump for a $1,000 super chat. You know what? $1,000 super chat, I might just give you a shout out. Thank you, RB Ratita. So, what do we have over here? Looks like we have NAND, customer data. Looks like we have a microscope with a really shitty auto exposure, auto exposure, and auto ISO. I got to figure out how to turn that off in this crappy microscope camera. So this is green. That's green. Minor corrosion, minor corrosion, minor corrosion. burn mark. Now, let's see what we have going on here when we put on Mr. Paul Daniels' software on the screen. So Paul Daniels' software is... really? Okay, one moment. We're going to get the Paul Daniels software on the screen. Sorry here, it's just usually a fight. It's an argument. It doesn't usually remember the window in OBS. You got to find it again. It is one of those things every now and then. If you're a Linux user, you punish yourself once. If you're a Paul Daniels software user, you punish yourself twice. So when we go to the corner of the board over here, let's take a look. And this is a capacitor for 2.5 volts going to the NAND. PP2V5, NAND, SSDO. Let's take a look. And so this is the TPS62180, which, by the way, you can buy on store.rossmanngroup.com. And you can see PP G3 hot, that's our main 12, 13 volt line. It's going to take that and turn it into 2.5 volts for the SSD. Now, what do we have over here? Because there's something corroded next to it as well. And look at that. It also has seen some better days. It's also seen some better days. When you use Paul Daniels software user, you punch yourself in the nuts, says Sunny Days. It depends. Sometimes it feels that way. Okay, so the thing that's corroded looks like this. What is this? U5111. PP1V8 Sleep S2RSW. Something around the display connector. Okay, I don't think that's really gonna be our main issue. A 1V8 rail shorted to ground or having minor corrosion. What I think the real problem is gonna be is this burned SSD cap over here. Now, one of the things that gives me hope for this motherboard, if you take a really close look, there's not a hole through this chip, nor do you have a hole through the NAND. One of the ways you can usually tell that you're screwed is if you're looking at either the Wi-Fi chip or the NAND, and it really is driving me nuts that I can't manually change the exposure on this camera, but we'll figure that out later, is you see the underfill, like sometimes it'll have a little hole in the side of it where you could see that the solder for one of the solder balls just shot out because 12 volts went to a 2.7 volt line. I'm 99% certain that when we knock this cap off the board over here, this is going to work again just fine. Yes, it's definitely advantageous to us that Apple always puts the most delicate circuitry right in the corner of the machine, and after over 20 years of making laptops, still has not figured out how to make them at all liquid resistant. So horrible for us that they keep making these devices in a manner where it's very profitable to repair them. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna rip this thing off. Has Sonny noped from the New York City life yet? Oh, Sonny is a giant New York City fanboy. He's never leaving. He loves it there. He keeps buying property there, more and more property. Getting more and more involved in the system. Sonny loves it. Sonny and I are good friends that also have insane disagreements about what it is we are willing to tolerate and where it is we are willing to live. So notice that I haven't measured this cap yet. I didn't measure it with the multimeter. I measured it with my eyeball. Okay. We do that. This is a very common one. It's a common place that you should be looking on your machine. Mr. Hall, how are you? I am going to plug it in and see if it turns on. 99% certain it does. However, before we get started with that, I am going to give a very minor hot airing and fluxing at a lower temperature than normal to this one chip down there. Again, at a lower temperature than normal, we're very close to an AND. We don't want to do anything stupid here. We don't want to do anything stupid right near an AND. We just want to clean things up a little bit. Now I'm going to put a little metal shield over the NAND just to try and eliminate the amount of heat that it gets. And lower it just a little bit. And again, we're not using full soldering temperature here. That would be massively stupid. Okay. I really do got to get one of those dual stations for myself. Or at least rip the speaker out of this piece of shit. Gonna try and file this away over here. File away that junk over there. Get rid of that little whisker over here. I really don't want to use hot air to the point where I'm actually melting solder here. What is this? I don't want to just tap the side of it. You want to get the bottom and like a little bit of scraping on the pad too. Bada bing. So how's everybody doing a few days before Christmas? Y'all enjoying yourselves? Are you all enjoying yourselves? You having a fun time? You doing well? Doing well? Enjoying yourself? Fun with family? The whole 9 yards? I do not have a broken blade. I'm not really sure what you're talking about, Q's Tech Service. That's not a blade. That is a soldering iron tip, and that is not broken. I do have a blade, but the blade tip is not... We have ITC Extreme in the chat. How you doing, ITC Extreme? Oh, what's going on at work, John Takuma? What's going on? Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. I was scraping the green stuffs, Alan. So there was green stuff. There was green corrosion. So I was scraping away at what would look like green corrosion to try and get rid of the green corrosion, because they can't leave green corrosion on a customer board. Unfortunately, that green corrosion had already unfortunately done all it was going to do to the board at that point. Yeah, unfortunately at that point the green corrosion had done it. Had already had its way with the copper traces there. That sucks, John. That sounds like you're having an L-like day at work. Paul Daniels, did I tell you that an Australian came by today that looked exactly like you?
Sounded like him too.
He even sounded like you. He said solder the way you say solder. Like he was almost identical. I asked if he had ever heard of the legendary Paul Daniels from Queensland, Australia, and he had said he hadn't heard of you. And I said, that's fucking blasphemy. How have you not heard of Paul Daniels? How have you not heard of Paul Daniels? You two share a country. Nolan, I am 34 years old. Probably not, Brad. No, I don't have any speakers plugged to my computer right now. What the hell is Flipper? No idea what that is or why I would want it. The cap that I was trying to take just ran away. What do you have there?
Keyboard. It works.
How depressed is one side? How depressed is one side of it?
No, it's fine. I hand dremel the phone. Are you looking for a cap? 'Cause they're not gonna be there.
I hate this paper that's everywhere because of the hanging paintings that they're doing. Another set of tweezers. All right. How can you not know about Flipper Zero? Because I don't care about it. That's why. I don't care about Flipper Zero. I have no use for it. Therefore, I don't care. Okay. Cool off the board a little bit. And watch it turn on. Oh, eat a dick, Hassan. Eat a dick. Let's see. Let's see. Flipper Zero is amazing. Hacking device disguised as a toy. Yeah, I don't care. I don't know. I don't really have much reason to care about it. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see how this works. Alright, an L being an L left the charge port screwed into the housing so that testing would be more difficult. An L hates life. An L genuinely hates. Every time I see a technician keep the charge ports screwed into the housing, it means they must hate their life. It just makes things so much more difficult. All right. So it was sunny and warm in Texas for a while, and once an L flew in, I noticed that it went down at 20 to 17 degrees. I'm not satisfied with that. See, now you gotta like fucking futz with the computer to get it to plug into the charge port and all this. Is there a particular school of thought to unplugging the charge port when taking the machine apart? Or is this just some sort of form of masochism? I imagine it's masochism.
The way you do it is absurd.
That I always take the charge port out with them.
Yes, and it's near impossible to put back in.
It's perfect. It slides right in.
This machine goes bottom down, and now you have to slide it left and then like wiggle it back in. It makes no sense. Especially when the charge port screws are underneath the board.
The charge port screws are very easily accessible. It's like reading the model number of an 820-3437 with the SSD in it. When you know, you know.
What about a 1425? Where's the model number? Board number?
I actually forget.
It's they put a sticker over it.
This is so fucking aggravating trying to
I think it's 3462.
plugging the charge port back into the board is so fucking aggravating. Like you could. Okay. Let's. At least your microscope scan now the dual boom instead of having to mess with. I honestly like the single boom one, Paul Daniels. I like being able to look at stuff at an angle from time to time. Okay, finally got. Works so much better when the charger is actually plugged into the desk. Okay, 20 volts, 20 volts, 50 milliamps, 20 volts, 200 milliamps, 20 volts, 1.4 amps. Something tells me this is going to turn on in a second. And what do you know? I have an Apple logo, because all that was bad with this machine the entire time was one single little cap. No dead SSD. No 12 volts to the SSD. No board that has a little crater in it that you have to dig out. No bad SSD controller. No shorted NAND. Just a little cap. Flick. Yep. I know, it's so incredibly lucky. Anel is going to flip his desk in a minute. Likely. His desk is much heavier than mine, so. Go for it. Go for it. Why not? It's a cheap CAD. Well, I kind of deserve that. Oh, is this a bad screen that he has?
Yes.
Okay, that's unlucky. Okay, not perfect. Yeah, it does look, okay. This does look like a shitty screen. Oh well. Well, so you're mildly vindicated, my friend. Mildly vindicated. I would trade this monitor being broken for this one. I don't think it works that way though.
Isn't that monitor like $100?
This is cheap shit. Almost killed a MacBook. No, I deflected it pretty well, I think. John, he's a temporary. Anel is a temporary. He's not moving to Texas. He's actually being sold away to the... So you know how in like 600 years ago, like you would sell your daughter away to like somebody that had a nice family, and then like then you would like combine families or whatever for your own economic benefit. We have an arrangement with Anel. He's unfortunately already been sold away to a... You know they have arranged marriages? Here we have something called an arranged job. There is somebody who may or may not be taking over my old space, and we may have sold an L to him. We're selling an L to Sonny. Close. 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 What if this is just a really nasty background? You sure it's a bad suit? I'm coping there, aren't I?
You can't change it.
I'm coping, yeah, aren't I? No, look, it's like right over here. That's the background.
Yeah, it's 1/6 of the screen, where it's 1/6 of its data lines.
What a fucking fail. Oh, well. Yeah, can I cover? Sure. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking.
That's cool.
You see how his screen on the left looks fucked? Yeah. Oh, well. RIP. Well, that's it for today. And as always, I hope that you learned something. Bye now. I think I could edit this into a video that doesn't suck. This could be a main channel video. Yes, lots of editing. I will do what every other board repair person does and edit the fuck out of their stuff to make it watchable. Yes. Yes. That's what I will do. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody.